Welcome. This is day 5 of two-step equations. Today we are starting two-step equation practical problems. So our objective for today is, today I can identify key information from a two-step practical problem, write an equation, and solve the equation with at least 70% accuracy as measured by an exit ticket. Hopefully by now you already have the half sheet of notes from your teacher so that we can work through these problems together. If we look at our first problem, China goes to a fair and buys 2 passes, one for unlimited rides and one for a meal. Each pass costs the same price. She also pays the price of admission, which is $24. In all, she spent $50. What is the cost of one pass? When I begin this problem, the first thing we always want to do when completing practical problems is highlight the important information. So, first I need to highlight buys 2 passes. That's important. It doesn't matter that she's buying them from the fair, but we want to highlight it that she's buying 2 passes. We also need to highlight in the second line, each pass costs the same price. If we continue reading, we also need to highlight the price, pays the price of admission, and $24. All in all, she spent $50. We don't need to highlight the whole thing, just highlight spent $50. Last but not least, we have to solve for our variable. In this case, our variable is the cost of one pass. So I circle that and put an X underneath it. That tells me that is my unknown that we are solving for. If we look back at what we highlighted, there's a lot of keywords in there that tell us what we need to know. The word spent means that is your total. So underneath spent $50, I would put an equal sign and $50. We know that has to be our total in our equation. Then we look back. When we say you are also paying something else, also means that you are adding to your total. So we need to add $24 to our total. Now, each pass costs the same price, and she bought 2 passes. If I look, the cost of one pass is X, so if I'm buying 2 passes, that means I need to have 2 X's. Once you have all the pieces, now we can put them together to write our equation. So our equation becomes 2x plus 24 equals 50. To solve this equation, use the same steps that we've been using in class the last couple days. Once I draw my line down the middle, I'm going to start with the number 24 because it's on the same side as the variable and being added to it. Using my inverse operations, I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. We didn't do anything with the 2x yet, so I'm going to leave that the same. 24 minus 24 gives me 0, and 50 minus 24 gives me 26. From here, we have the one-step problem of 2x is equal to 26. Well, I know when I have a coefficient of 2, I need to divide, which is my inverse operation, both sides by 2. When I do this, I get an answer. X is equal to 13. The biggest difference when solving these problems, you need to make sure you have a unit with your answer. If I look back at my variable, it was the cost of one pass. Well, I know cost means I have dollars, so I need to make sure my answer has a dollar sign with it so I know what my unit is. Now, just like two-step, we need to check our answers. So 26 plus 24 gives me 50, and 50 equals 50, so my answer works. Again, just like previous videos, if you need to pause the video at any time to write things down, please feel free to do so. If not, we're going to move on to the next problem. A music store sells a used guitar for $120. This is $25 more than half the cost of a new guitar of the same brand. What is the cost of a new guitar? So, first thing, we need to highlight the important information. They sell a used guitar for $120. Is $25 more than half the cost of a new guitar? Now, for my variable, we need to know what we are searching for. In this case, we are searching for the cost of a new guitar. So that is going to become my unknown, or my X. When we write our equations, the reason I highlighted so many words in this use the words we've talked about when we are translating. The word is means equal. So we're still going to put our equal sign there. In front of the equal sign, they are selling a guitar for $120. So I'm just going to add that $120 there. $25 more than half the cost. Well, I know more means add, and then means we need to switch the order. So I need to bring $25 after my addition symbol, and I'm going to take half the cost of the new guitar before my addition symbol. So when I write my equation, I'm going to have 1/2 x. It is x is your cost of your new guitar. So your equation is 120 equals 1/2 x plus 25. Now, I know we have not talked about when we have a fraction like 1/2 in front of the x. Turn 1/2 into a decimal. So 120 is going to stay the same. 1/2 is the same as 0.5 or 5/10 x plus 25. Now we have an equation that we've seen and can solve using the two-step method. So our first step, using inverse operations, we need to subtract 25 from both sides. When we do that, we get 95 equals 0.5x. Since 0.5 is my coefficient, I need to divide both sides by 0.5. And that leaves me with an answer of 190 equals x. Again, make sure you have a unit. In this case, we're talking about dollars, so the dollar symbol works. Once you get your answer, though, still plug it back into your original equation to check. So 120 equals 0.5 times 190 plus 25. Well, 0.5 times 190 is 95 plus my 25, which gives me 120. So 120 equals 120, so my answer works. Once you have this copied, flip to the back of your page, and we're going to go over 2 more examples before we move on. Our first example, Corey buys 9 CDs for the same price. So that's important, 9 CDs, and they are all the same price. He also buys a DVD for $11. His total bill was $110. We want to use X to represent the cost of 1 CD. So in this case, they're telling us that our X is 1 CD. Go back and look for keywords. Total bill means that's what our answer has to equal. So it has to equal 110. Looking at our answer choices, we can already eliminate letters E and G because they do not equal 110. So we are left with F and H. Now, the word also means that we need to add our costs together. We are adding that DVD to our total. Again, looking at our answer choices, H does not add our 2 numbers together, so that one cannot work, leaving F as our answer choice. And to double check, he bought 9 CDs for the same price. Well, X is the cost of 1 CD, and we are multiplying 9 times X, adding our DVD to get our total price. In this problem, Joseph has 12 video games. This name is important because there are 2 different people we are talking about in this problem. Joseph has 3 less than half as many games as Anthony. How many games does Anthony have? Now, if you notice, we've circled the names in different colors. The variable, or our unknown, is how many games does Anthony have. So they are circled in the same color. That way, we don't confuse all our different names. If we look, Joseph has 12 video games. So that means we equal 12. If it is 3 less than, that means we are subtracting and changing the order. So it is -3, and it is half as many games as Anthony. So that is X divided by 2, or 1/2 X. Turn your fraction into a decimal to solve it, and then you will get your correct answer.